Ready for another deep dive. Today, we're uncovering what it really takes to be a jewelry and watches specialized seller.
Definitely not all glamour like people think.
Right. We're going beyond the glitz and getting into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, using some really insightful RoleCatcher resources to do it, career guides, interview prep, even their AI job searching tools.
Lots to unpack there. I mean, think about it. This isn't just any retail job. You're dealing with pieces that hold sentimental value, maybe even become family heirlooms.
Exactly. It's more than just making a sale. It's about guiding people towards something that resonates with them.
Speaking of guiding, RoleCatcher highlights persuasion as a key skill. But I get the sense it's not about being pushy, right?
Definitely not. It's more about really listening to the client, understanding their desires, and helping them articulate what they're looking for.
So active listening plays a huge role. That makes sense. But how does that play out in a high-end setting?
Sometimes it's about picking up on nonverbal cues. A client might say they don't like something, but their eyes tell a different story.
You're reading between the lines of luxury. I like it. And speaking of luxury, let's be honest. The high earning potential mentioned in the guide is a big draw. But is it all about commission? Commission is a factor, but the real money comes from building those long-term relationships. A client who trusts you with a major watch purchase, they'll be back for more.
And probably tell their equally well-heeled friends. So it's about building a reputation, becoming the go-to expert. RoleCatcher outlines these stages, from entry-level to senior seller. What really changes as you climb that ladder?
Well, at the entry level, you're mastering the basics. Product knowledge, sales techniques, customer service, all that good stuff.
Right, laying the groundwork.
Exactly. As you gain experience, you might specialize. Maybe you're drawn to antique jewelry or become a whiz with watch mechanics.
You find your niche within the luxury world.
Precisely.
Okay, let's talk interview prep. RoleCatcher has some really interesting questions in their materials. One that stuck out to me. How do you stay up to date on trends? Because I have a feeling I follow fashion bloggers isn't going to cut it here. Oh, absolutely not. This is where you prove you're plugged into the industry. You might mention trade journals like JCK or attending events like Baselworld.
Showing you're serious about the business, not just a fan from afar. Okay, how about this one? How do you handle a difficult customer? That feels like a landmine, even for experienced salespeople.
It definitely takes practice. You don't want to get defensive. It's about staying calm, acknowledging their concerns, and finding a way to build a connection.
Turning that frown upside down. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say, the diamond-encrusted elephant. Technical expertise. How much do you really need to know about things like gemology or watch movements?
Yeah, you're not just selling a pretty face, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is where Specialized comes in.
It's a balance. You don't need to be a certified gemologist, but understanding the 4Cs cut, color, clarity, and carat weight, that's essential when you're discussing diamonds.
Makes sense. And what about watches?
Similar deal. Knowing about complications, movements, brand histories, it adds credibility to your recommendations.
You're not just reading off a tag. You're demonstrating real knowledge.
Right. It's about making those details engaging, too. Instead of saying, this watch has a tourbillon, you explain how it counteracts gravity for better accuracy.
Suddenly, it's not just a technical term, it's fascinating.
Exactly. And that ties into the importance of continual learning. New materials, techniques, trends, they're always popping up.
Got to stay ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. Imagine a client comes in, they're just back from Baselworld raving about some new watchmaker. You can't be like, Basel what?
That's where those trade journals and industry events come in handy. Speaking of staying ahead, RoleCatcher emphasizes certifications, especially the GIA, the Gemological Institute of America. It's like the gold standard, right?
Oh, for sure. Getting GIA certified, it's a big commitment, but it shows you have a deep understanding of gemstones, diamonds, pearls, colored stones, the whole 9 yards.
So it's not just knowing a ruby when you see one. It's understanding its origin, treatments, how to assess its quality.
Exactly. It gives you the language to talk about these pieces with confidence, which builds trust with those high-end clients.
Especially when you're talking about pieces with 5 or even 6-figure price tags.
Right. That's a whole other ballgame. You might be working with collectors, people who own multiple Rolexes, or helping someone choose a piece that'll be in their family for generations.
So the stakes are higher, and that sales process, it must be way more personalized.
It's less about closing a quick sale, more about building that lasting relationship.
Becoming your trusted advisor.
Exactly. And those relationships, they lead to repeat business, referrals. That's where the earning potential really kicks in.
It's not just what you know, it's who you know, or rather, who knows you as the expert.
And that goes back to those core skills we talked about. Listening, building rapport, understanding what makes your client tick.
It's a journey, starting with those fundamentals and then specializing, honing your skills. And of course, technology plays a role both in finding these jobs and excelling at them.
Definitely. It's amazing how tools like the ones RoleCatcher offers are changing the industry.
Right. From job hunting to nailing that interview, AI is changing the game. And for anyone listening who's intrigued by this career path, understanding these tools could be a huge advantage.
Let's dive into that a bit more.
Okay, so say I'm ready to trade in my laptop for a loop and start brushing up on my diamond terminology. What can a tool like RoleCatcher do for someone like me who just dipping their toes into the luxury retail pool?
Well, it's 2024, right? Job hunting isn't just about refreshing job boards anymore. RoleCatcher pulls listings from all over the place, so you're not wasting time going from site to site.
So it's like a one-stop shop for anyone dreaming of becoming a watch connoisseur or a jewelry expert.
Exactly. And it goes deeper than that. They've got these AI tools that actually analyze your CV. Like, it'll tell you if you need to tweak things based on the specific jobs you're interested in.
Like having a personal brand consultant for your resume, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the interview, because that can be nerve-wracking. RoleCatcher does AI-powered interview practice too.
Oh, yeah. It's not just about practicing your elevator pitch. It actually looks at the job description, figures out potential questions, even gives you feedback on your answers.
Wow. So no more being blindsided by those curveball questions.
Exactly, which is super helpful when you're new to the industry and want to project confidence.
This has been amazing. I feel like we've gone from window shopping to actually understanding the inner workings of the luxury world.
It's a fascinating field, really.
Before we go, any parting words of wisdom for our listeners who are now seriously considering a career as a jewelry and watches specialized seller?
You know, beyond all the technical stuff, the sales skills, it really comes down to passion. You have to geek out over the details, appreciate the history and the artistry.
It's contagious, that enthusiasm.
Exactly. It's about sharing that passion with your clients, making those connections.
It's more than just a transaction. It's about finding that perfect piece, the one with a story.
The one that's going to become an heirloom. Those are the moments that make all the hard work worth it.
Absolutely. Well said. And for our listeners, if you're feeling inspired, don't forget to check out RoleCatcher's website. They have all the resources you need to start your journey. Until next time, happy hunting.